minority party in parliament records superior numbers in the governor's council continue? That is a question Kenyans are expecting to know the answer to, and especially the residents of Siaya who went to the polls in more than 600 polling stations across the county of Siaya to just find out who their next governor is going to be. Recent numbers have been showing that Cornel Rasanga, the immediate former governor of Siaya, has been having a steady lead over his close contestant, his close rival rather, William Oduor. Let's now take you to Siaya County, where KTN's Fred Omulo is standing by with the very latest on that gubernatorial race. Fred.
Thank you very much, Ben Kitili. Well, the final results are now trickling in, and the former governor of Siaya, Cornel Rasanga, is once again set to become the governor of Siaya, the substantial governor of Siaya. He established a commanding lead at the very start of the whole counting process. Things proceeded without a hitch. What we have now, Cornel Rasanga has 104,000 votes, grabbing 62%, and we have William Oduor in second place with 62,000 votes, meaning he has 36%. Dr. Noah Migudo-Winja has 1,398 votes, which is less than 1%. So far, only 15 polling stations out of 665 have not submitted their results, and we had a turnout of about 55%, slightly above that, with 168,000 voters stepping in to cast their ballots and to choose their governor. Clearly, the message is undisputable. People here still have confidence in the Court Coalition. They still have confidence in the Orange Democratic Movement. The whole process proceeded apace, starting early in the morning at 6 a.m. Voters were out there. They came in numbers, but by 8 a.m. the process was so efficient. There were no long queues or anyone standing there waiting. People were coming in and voting within 5 minutes. Everyone was voting, and the fact that it was only the governor that they were choosing also made the whole process very, very simple. They didn't have to look at other candidates like MPs, presidential, women representatives, and other such candidates who usually come during the general elections. We had a number of interesting incidents here. Both of the main contenders actually went to report incidents to the police. On the Court Coalition, we had a Nairobi County ward representative going to the police to talk about him being assaulted, and just as he was walking into the station to talk about being assaulted, in came William Oduor and his retinue and his entourage, and they walked in and they said that this person was assaulted by people who noticed that he was bribing voters. So there are a lot of gymnastics going on throughout the day, but no serious incident, no serious violence. There was a strong security presence in all the polling stations. I guess the security agencies were not so overstretched as they usually are during the general elections, and they were able to keep the peace. So voting proceeded. At some point during the day, around 2 or 3 p.m., the Orange Democratic Movement actually called a press conference to complain about harassment. So, I mean, political tactics here and there, you could not really know who is saying the truth or not saying the truth. But at the end of the day, the whole voting process continued, and right now Cornel Rasanga has that commanding lead. He's set to become the next governor. After the last 15 polling stations submit their results, we will have a clear result given out by the county returning officer, Jacqueline Osiamu. What you can see now is the latest on the board. Those are the results that have just trickled in. 104,000 still, and 62,000, a little bit of a rise for William Oduor. The rest still remain the same. Back to you, Ben Kitili, in the studio.
Thanks, Fred Omulo. It is the first gubernatorial by-election in the history of this country, and if all factors hold constant, it looks like the Court Coalition will get that particular gubernatorial seat. As it stands, as Fred Omulo has told us, 104,841 votes for Cornel Rasanga and 62,038 votes for William Oduor. That is with 15 polling stations to go. We shall be keeping an eye on what is happening in the county of Siaya. We shall be giving you the details as and when we get them. Let's now take you to Kibwezi West constituency.
Indeed, Ben, let's look at Kibwezi. Let's see if the Wiper Democratic Party will be drawing in the numbers just as CORD is in Siaya by-election. Let me bring in my colleague Asha Mwilu, who has been keeping an eye on what's going on in Kibwezi West for us. Of course, we had three candidates, Kalembe Ndile of CORD, Patrick Musimbi, who is an independent candidate, and Juliana Musimbi, who is from the PIC, who is vying on a PIC ticket. Asha, if you can hear me, what do the numbers look like where you are? How has the voting process taken place the entire day? What else do our viewers need to know?
Yes, Linda, very good evening to you. Actually, we've just finished counting the last polling station here at the tallying center, which is Kibwezi Technical Institute. We counted 164 polling stations, which is the number of polling stations that were voting today. And I can tell you that there are already some early celebrations from the supporters and fans of Patrick Musimba. He does appear to be on the lead in the provisional results, but IBC officials are keen to ask everyone to remain calm before the final tally is announced. But currently on the board, as it stands, 17,103 votes have gone to Patrick Musimba. That's of the Peace Party. We know it was formed by former Kilome MP Harun Mwao. Kalembe Ndile, who is the person, the reason why this by-election was held, because he petitioned the March 4th parliamentary election, is closely behind with 16,928 votes. And of course, the third candidate, who is Juliana Momo Kisingi, has only 148 votes, and it's pretty clear that this is a two-horse race. But as it stands right now, the provisional results, 164 polling stations out of 164 show that Patrick Musimba is currently on the lead. There is a heavy security patrol here in the tallying center. In fact, I've counted about 90 officers or so just going in and out and controlling movement into this area. Linda, if you can remember, there were reports of some hostility and some scuffle between supporters of Patrick Musimba and Kalembe Ndile during the campaign, as late as yesterday, even when there were no campaigns in this constituency. You were still hearing that rowdy youths were trying to engage each other. So today we've seen quite a high number of police officers patrolling each and every polling station. It had about 2, 3, some even had 4, and some had as high as 6 officers patrolling that area. And all those officers are now in this tallying center. In fact, the final ballot boxes that were carrying ballot papers from the final polling stations were escorted. Each ballot paper, about 3 ballot boxes, escorted by about 1 officer. And so that can just tell you the kind of situation that is here. Anxiety is high as supporters wait for the final tally, but the provisional results showing that Musimba is taking a short lead. Linda.
Asha Mwilu keeping an eye on what's going on in Kibwezi West for us, of course, saying there are early celebrations because we seem to see that the independent candidate, that is Patrick Musimba, seems to be taking an early lead in that by-election. If all goes according to the numbers that we're currently seeing, then he will end up being the next member of parliament for Kibwezi West. Let's see how that goes. Ash as well saying there has been an increase in security in the region. There was scuffles between the different candidates, and she says that has been handled by the security personnel on the ground. That is Asha Mwilu speaking to us from Kibwezi West. Let's turn our attention now to Matungulu, that is in Machakos County, and my colleague Sam Mugina has been keeping an eye on the ground for us. Sam, how has the day been? How has the voting process been? What numbers are we looking at, and who is probably on the lead, if you can tell from the numbers that you have?
Well, thank you so much, studio. Right now, the provisional results trooping in, streaming in thick and fast. So far, so good. Stephen Muller, the immediate former member of parliament on a Wiper ticket, is currently leading at 10,545, followed closely by Thomas Musau of the New Democratic Party, garnering 8,697 votes. And Moffat Muya of the NAC Party is actually a distant third with 5,442 votes. These are provisional results from 110 polling streams out of 164. 117. So that means we only have 7 more polling streams to go. So far, Stephen Mule actually on a lead. The total votes cast here are 24,896 votes out of that is the number of registered voters in Matungulu constituency is actually 47,833. So an interesting thing to look out for will be the voter turnout, but currently it is just at over 50%. Now it is actually a carnival mood right here in Matungulu constituency, because we've just had supporters of, we want to assume Mule, who is actually ahead of the pack, actually on the street celebrating already. But these are not the official results. Of course, the official results will only be announced after all forms 35As are verified and the results are confirmed. And that is the process that is actually still ongoing at the tallying center.
Sam, I actually spoke to Asha Mwile just a few minutes before we brought you into this discussion, and she said that looking at the things, how things were going on in Kibwezi West, the security personnel had to be increased in the area because there were a little bit of scuffle between the candidates. How has the voting day been like there?
Well, the voting here has actually been quite slow, if we can say. The only incidents we had here was whereby a woman was arrested on allegations of voter bribery, and the Matungulu OCPD says they are following up actually on that allegation. Equally, candidates Stephen Mule for Wiper and Thomas Musau had actually raised the red flag on voter bribery, saying that candidates, their rivals for that matter, were actually engaging in voter bribery on the eve of the election and also early in the wee hours of the election day. But they had reported these allegations to the IEBC, and IEBC said the police were actually on the trail of those allegations. Right now at the tallying center, it is actually heavy security deployment, maybe just to keep off supporters from throwing into the tallying center. Quite a number of administration police and anti-riot police officers are manning the tallying center.
All right, Sam, many thanks for that. Sam Ogina keeping an eye on Matungulu by-election for us. Just like in Kibwezi West, he says there are already early celebrations. Former Member of Parliament seems to be leading the pack. That is Stephen Mule. Let's wait and see if he will be able to recapture that seat. So, of course, that has been our look at the by-elections that were held today. Let's see how the numbers pan out in the next couple of minutes, in the next couple of hours.